When I first went to Ghana, I was only like 17 years old. I had gotten to a few altercations or whatever, but sooner or later, my mom, after her going to another country, wanted to build business for us and us being ignorant little boys at the time. She just said, all right, I'm just gonna send all you guys to Ghana with me. She sent us all to Ghana. And don't get me wrong, it's like I had a passport and I was able to leave the country, but I didn't want to leave. And I was just like, oh, I'm going somewhere I never been. Just like doing the most when not knowing what change it would really bring me. So a week or two passed, finally get on the flight. I meet my mom, she's happy to see me. I get to Ghana. First thing I do when I get off the plane, I eat. Cause I'm a big bag, I like to eat. So then after eating, after the first 2 weeks, my mom, she's showing us around, taking us out to the beach, taking us to little resorts and stuff. And then after that, she just said, all right, y'all seen Ghana, y'all enjoyed. Now it's time for y'all to do your own. The whole 6 to 8 months, I didn't do nothing with myself because I was too stuck up on how I was gonna get my girlfriend there. So after some time, of a lot of days of praying, meditating, being stressed, being misunderstood, going back and forth with my mom, knowing that I was having a son, but I was keeping it on the low and didn't let my family know, only me and my girl knew. And she was arguing with her peoples, and it was just like a lot of back and forth around that time. But something was happening that I wasn't consciously aware of, that I was consciously rich. And also on top of that, I was opening my third eye without me knowing I was opening my third eye. So around some time of me meditating for hours every day, just meditating and meditating. Like I started opening doors that I didn't know were there or how I was opening them. I was starting to see certain, like signs when it came down to my chakras of what needed to be healed, what wasn't healed. I started even seeing visions about me having a son before I knew I was gonna have a son. I just knew my girlfriend was pregnant. I even started to experience so many different type of non-physical feelings. Like I felt that every time I was asleep, I felt that my body was traveling because when I woke up, I felt that I had no energy. It was just like so many things happening at once, and me being 17, not knowing what I'm doing, I was very confused. I was also hard-headed, and I didn't really understand what was going on. But I always knew that as long as you search, you shall see. So then I started writing. And when I started writing, things took a huge turn. I started writing about my life. I started writing about plans. I started writing about how I wanted to be in a few years, who I am, and about my family, and just about a whole bunch of things that I was taking on into my life. So time passed forward. After being there for about 4 months, my girlfriend came. I was very happy. I was very excited. But when she came, it's like I stopped everything. I stopped meditating. I stopped really writing. Stopped really pushing myself to be on that higher vibration because I felt that I was only doing it for my girl to come. So finally, when she got there, and not me at that moment figuring out that I was only using the skills of meditating and going into other dimensions, or just being able to understand a different point of view of life, being able to fix myself, being able to actually question my actions, being able to question my thoughts. It was all just because I wanted my girlfriend there, so I was just changing myself just so my girl can get there. Then when she got there, I went back to the same old me as when I was in New York. So after some time, things started getting rough. There was a lot of things happening, like my siblings, they were changing. They were becoming more, it's like if they were becoming more angry all the time. Everybody was always upset. Money was an issue. No one got along. And it was just like the constant back and forth every day, every day, every day. So sooner or later we moved. And when we moved to the new apartment, my mom had her own apartment downstairs. We had our own apartment upstairs. It came down to it where after a month or two, I was setting goals for myself. But my girl, she received SSI. But me, I didn't have no money at that time. So instead of me following my goals every time she received her SSI, I was on it with her with the SSI, not caring about my goals anymore, pushing them back. Like, if I just had time to waste. Did that, and I did that for about a good 2-3 months. And after I did that for 2 or 3 months, it was just like so many things was happening at once. Like, after that, soon, like I said, my son was coming. And then after that, it was like clothes needed to be bought. After a week, we were spending all of her money. Rent was due. And it was just like always like drama. Like, we going outside because we are foreigners. You know, the Ghanaians, because we were in Ghana. The Ghanaians are judging us. They acting like they can tell us what to do. It was just a whole lot. So with me still being young-minded, not actually knowing what's going on and seeing how I'm creating my life like this because I'm continuously doing the same thing, following in the same steps as I did before I left Ghana by not doing nothing with myself, not knowing that that's why my life is the way it is. So fast forward after we left after the 3 months, it came down to where we moved to one more location. In this last location, something different happened, something changed where I seen it as, okay, my son will be here in about 3, 4, 5 months. I have to make a change. And the only change that was really on my mind was how to make money. So I took the risk to being able to go to Nigeria with a family friend. I went to Nigeria with a family friend, and at first it was so new to me. It was just like a big, change. Even on the bus, taking the bus to Nigeria from Ghana, I was just like, what am I doing? Or like, let me get off the bus, this, that, but I stay on the bus even though I had those type of thoughts in my brain. I got there, had a blast. First, second week, I was getting in. About the third, fourth week, I wasn't doing what I thought would happen. Like, I thought that money would be coming. No money was coming. But it was like God had another plan for me. So as I went there, I started to learn how to be able to control my anger, because they didn't understand me in Nigeria how I understood myself. They don't understand how we work over here in the US. So by them thinking how they can make jokes and talking in any language, specifically I was around Igbo people, they thought that they could be able to assault me, and I wouldn't figure out. So by me understanding and knowing body vibrations, I would be able to feel when someone was talking bad about me, when someone was trying to assault me, when someone was trying to just offend me or make it to where they were trying to overcharge me. I would see it. So after learning that over some time, I learned how to be around these people. So then after that, that's when the money came in. So at this time, being around Nigerians, if you notice, it's a scamming country. A lot of people scam out there. So I didn't know how to make money, and I knew that they were scamming. So that's what I started to do. So once I started to get in tune with it, I started to notice how if I wasn't careful, they would try to use me because of my voice, and also because of what connections I have to the United States when it came down to any type of banks or anything, So once it came down to it, everything, I started seeing that the people who I was living around and the people I was trying to help, that I was thinking helping me, was doing nothing but trying to use me to where they couldn't use me anymore and wanted me just to deal with it wanted me to sit right here and feel like this is how it goes. We gonna use you and that's it. So me being, you feel me, from the trenches, growing up rough, I'm like, y'all think I got it easy. Y'all really don't know. So for me learning how to control my anger over time, I didn't want to show them that. So since I didn't want to show them that, it came down to a point where after a few, then once the deal started dying down, I left. By the time I went back to Ghana to see my mom, my girlfriend, and my brother, they already had left. So then after that, after being there, probably about a week later, my mom left. So once my mom, my sister, my baby brother left, it was just me there. So I'm sitting in the apartment just thinking to myself like, how we get in the US? What we gonna do? I had some food. I probably had about $25 to $20 to my name in a country that's like 50 to 200 cities. I had a book. I had some water. I had a notebook. So I was just constantly reading. Just reading like, God put me here. I'm still here. I ain't left like everybody else. There's a reason. So there's some goal that I have to achieve and a few steps I have to make before I even go take my flight to go to US. So I'm there every day. I'm reading, writing. I'm reading and writing so much that I can't sleep. I'm reading and writing and meditating so much that that's the only thing I'm doing. Like, it came down to a point that when I would meditate, if I would imagine money, I could see money. Anything I wanted to see, I could see. When it came down to when I would close my eyes and when I'm meditating, I could be meditating for an hour and it only feel like I've been meditating for 10 or 15 minutes. So there was a lot of things I was uncovering. And a great book that I was reading was Think and Grow Rich. You know, it was revised by, the Napoleon Hill version. So after some time, after me reading it, I always thought I had it because it was telling me, oh, if you know this, then you can finish the book now. Oh, these are the skills of a business. These are the certain type of mindsets that are stopping you, like the poverty mindset. How you can be able to be affected by your thoughts, of how genetics are affecting us because we are not living our lives, we are living our parents' lives, and how a lot was, and it was just a lot of confusing messages I did not understand. I didn't understand these messages at all. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand what was going on. Came down to days to where I almost felt like giving up. It was just me there. Around this time, I was only around like 17, turning 18, so I didn't really feel or know what to do. So it came down to a point that when it came down to everything, I started just thinking to myself like, what am I gonna do? Everything felt so complicated. I felt like everything was on me because I am the oldest out of all my siblings. So me not knowing that, the only reason I was sent to Ghana, going to Ghana after my mom brought us there, was for me to man up and also vibrate at a higher vibration. If you see at the title of this video, it will be that I came to Ghana unconsciously rich, left Ghana consciously rich. Because I didn't know that I was already rich here. It was because of what I was physically seeing. I was let it affect me on what type of clothes I wear, on when I will get to be able to even have 100,000, when I will be able to own that dream car I wanted, when I will be able to have my own house, when I can take care of my family, when I can be able to finally open my business, when I can finally be able to be the man I wanted to be. Instead, I was too busy, stuck up trying to blame how I didn't have no dad, and how it was only my mom, and how everything was rough, but really in reality, nothing was rough. The reason I didn't have my dad was because my dad was to show me how not to be. I was around him, but I didn't have him how I had my mom. I had my mom no matter what. I always stayed with my mom. My mom always had my back. And it would come to many times where I would make it stressful for my mom, but at that time of being a kid. I didn't know I was making it stressful, but I was making it stressful, and over the years, I apologize for that. So after some time, I started seeing it as, wait, I'm out here by myself. None of my family is here. I'm on a mission to strive for straight greatness. So I stopped blaming my dad for what was going on. I stopped trying to sit right here and get mad or emotional that I didn't know what to do. When really in reality, the only way you don't know what to do is when you think you don't know what to do. But as long as you look for the answer, you will figure out what to do. So over time, after slowly starting seeing the answers from the intelligence, sorry, that's the wrong word. It's called, oh my, what is the word called? Infinite intelligence. Infinite intelligence. I started receiving all type of knowledge that I didn't even know I was capable of receiving. Of that really in reality, you are a man already. You were born a man. You were born and put in these places because you chose to be in these places. And also it helped me with knowing that I cannot get mad at my father. I have to thank my father. Why be mad at your dad, but rather thank him? You want to be upset that he wasn't there, but imagine if he was there, how you would have turned out. So once I started thinking like, okay, as being around my dad, I was always quiet. All I did was observe. I started thinking, I was observing, and I was like, okay. So I'm observing my dad and I'm seeing everything he's doing, but I'm keeping quiet. But my dad was showing me how to not be, but I didn't understand that at that moment because I wanted to be around him. My dad showed me how to not be a man. So since my dad showed me how to not be a man, over time, me being 17, almost 18, recognizing that, I stopped getting mad at my dad. Once I started getting mad at my dad, I started feeling better about myself. Once I started feeling better about myself, I felt that it was okay for me to talk to him. It was okay for me to make minor mistakes. It was okay because that's what you have to do. You have to take L's and turn them into wins. You get what I'm saying? So then after some time, I started figuring out things that was so simple that really in reality for you to make money, it is a skill that you must first comprehend. First, after you comprehend the skill, you must use the skill willingly without going backwards. So you can't sit here and understand money, know how to use money, know how to invest money, and then go backwards with it. I was going backwards. So since I was going backwards, it wasn't helping me. It wasn't getting me nowhere. So finally, after I figured out how to stop going backwards with the money, that's when the best times started happening. It started coming down to where money just started popping up. Always coming to the phone, always coming to the phone, always coming to the phone. It was coming so much that it started to make my head hurt. And I remember Bob Proctor said that, he said the money will come, it'll make your head spin. It started making my head hurt because I felt like it was too much, not knowing what I had done. But over time, I started seeing what I'd done. So over time, finally it comes down, I'm leaving Ghana. After being there for a long, probably after like 2 months after my mom left, I finally leave. Once I finally leave, I'm happy, I'm excited. I said, okay, I'm going back. That means that what I done here was what I was supposed to do. So once I felt that what I done here was what I was supposed to do, and I went back to New York, I knew that everything would be fine. But the only thing I wasn't expecting was the unexpected. Not knowing that, okay, when you come back to the United States, everything is going to be even more complex. If you thought it was complex before when you was in Ghana, it's even more complex. It started coming down to a point that when we came back, the apartment that we had, our landlord kicked us out. He threw all our things out and stuff. And then we was going back and forth to court with that. Then on top of that, my siblings just started to let the streets really get to their mental and their mind, and they started to act out in a way. And once I started to see how they started to act out in a way, I just seen it as, okay, well, let me take a pause. Because if I don't take a pause and I see how easily they got blinded, I would become blinded the same way. So even when I came back, I didn't feel like it was no rest time. I felt like it was straight work time. I put 2 weeks up, money dropped to the phone. I won't even lie to you. I was so happy because I know that if I was able to put enough time and energy, money would drop to my phone. So then after that, when money came to my phone, I was excited. But I stopped doing what I was already doing because I started to let the money blind me. I started to buy unnecessary items. I started to start lacking my self-esteem. I just started to eating junk food and just living that American lifestyle. So once after all my money had finished, I was just thinking to myself like, so what are you gonna do? And there was nothing that came to my brain to do. So it was very devastating because my son was coming and I knew he was coming. So since I knew he was coming, I was just thinking to myself like, your son is coming. What are you gonna do? So after some time, unexpectedly, after my mom was having a conversation with me, my girl, and my siblings, she was like, babies are dropping tomorrow. Not expecting that, was she saying that in the morning, my girl would be having contractions, and by 5, 6 in the morning, we are rushing to the hospital because my son is finna come. So my son comes, I'm in the hospital thinking like of every mistake I made and how as soon as he came, I blew everything I had. Just thinking to myself like, what the fuck am I doing? So I started thinking to myself like, before I left, I wasn't acting this way. Before I left, I never thought about wasting money. But I started to do it, the things that I thought I wanted to do. So don't get me wrong, I left Ghana consciously rich, came there unconsciously rich. But I misunderstood that when you are rich, it does not mean in the money. It means in the mindset, and who you are, how you hold yourself, how you stand. If you are the man of your family, the protector, the provider, you know? So after some time, after I started figuring that out, I started seeing that there was a lot of signs that was always there, but I always sat there and was blinded to it consciously because at any moment I could have helped my mom. At any moment she didn't have to struggle. At any moment I could have sat right there and been the real provider right with her, how my mom provided for us. Because my mom didn't do anything but pray. My mom would work a job here and there and she would pray. But my mom always kept on the lights, always put food in the fridge, had clothes on her back, and gave us anything we wanted. But me not really sitting right here wanting to reach that far, I didn't reach that far. I didn't help her. I was letting her suffer. So once I got back and I started thinking about all that and started seeing how my mom felt, started seeing everything that was going on, started looking past through all the years when I was just watching all this stuff happen, I started to think to myself, how would you feel if your son knew these things and did the same thing to you? That damn near made me cry because I wouldn't want my son to do that to me. But I did it to my mom, and my siblings are still doing it to this day. So this video is a wake-up call to many of the young males that's just like me, growing up in poverty. Don't sit right here and just feel like you can't do anything. Don't feel like money is hard to make. Don't feel like you can't go to school. Don't feel like you can't help. You can always help. You can always be a protector and a provider. Just be positive about everything and remember the mind is very powerful. Stop sitting there on your phone every day. Stop sitting in there always worried about what girl or what new hoodie I'm gonna get or what coat I'm gonna get or what shoes I'm gonna get. Stop worrying about all that nonsense. You know, whatever you feel that helps you and that's calming, that's what you do. That's what you take. But don't sit right here and just waste time how I did because now I'm 19. I wasted 17 years to 18 years of my life doing nothing. Just now starting after 18 to 19. Now I'm providing. Now I'm a dad. Now I'm out here setting examples. But before I wasn't doing that. Don't be that person. Don't do that. You can make a change. You know, this video isn't just to give you some type of motivational speech. It's about how consciously your body already knows you're rich, but unconsciously to you, you don't know that you are rich because you're not seeing the dollars. You're not seeing the white man on the paper. You're not seeing all the paper in front of you, so you're feeling like, I don't got it, but you got it. You always had it. My name is Kamari. Everybody have a great day.